Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna be reacting to
8 months in Italy, what I learned.
When I moved to Italy, I thought I'd learn Italian, eat a lot of pizza and pasta, maybe learn a few offensive hand gestures. And while I did do all of those things, I didn't expect to discover how complicated, diverse, and complex the country actually is. The culture, the cuisine, the climate, all vary greatly depending on the region. These are going to be just a few of my observations, some things that surprised me after 8 months of living in Italy.
wow. Wow, he's good at filming and editing.
I'm actually in Spain right now,
Reminds
but
me
that's
of
a
that
story for
other
another
guy
video.
that lives in Portugal. That's similar. Just something about the video gives similar vibe.
For most of the past year, we were living in Alessandria, a small city in the north. I was commuting daily to Torino to study the Italian language full-time. We moved from the US so that my wife could do her recognition of Italian citizenship through descent. And she got it. So, mission accomplished. It took about 8 months, and this is after about a year and a half collecting documents, going through all the research and everything that was necessary to do it. It was big, very proud of her, and excited to see where we go next. Just a heads up, I'm gonna talk a little smack here. No offense to any Italians. I put in good things in here too. These are just my experiences. I hope that you find it interesting, entertaining, and educational. One of the first things that I learned is that Italy is not just one place. It's small, it's about the size of Arizona, or about 2/3 the size of California. I knew Italy had regions, but I didn't fully understand how different they could be. In the north, especially Torino, the people have a reputation for being maybe a little bit more aristocratic, possibly considered cold, definitely more reserved, very polite. But in the south, you may find the opposite. There are also about 30 different regional dialects, or distinct languages, still spoken across Italy. Italian, as we know it, is based off of the Tuscan dialect, and it really didn't become popular until the 1960s with the rise of national television. Some older people still only speak their dialect. And you'll even find towns on borders where they speak German or French, or there's a...
I mean, it makes sense considering how old people have been living there. The history, like here in the States, it's like what, 400 years tops. So, back there, it's thousands of years. The same people, like the same families, could be living in the same region. So that makes sense that there's differences between the certain regions.
very large Albanian population, and in the Italian constitution it's written that languages are protected. The food can be completely different depending on where you are. In Piemonte, I was surprised to see carne cruda in many restaurants. This is raw meat. Even many sandwich shops will have them. Even the train
Raw
station,
meat,
cafe.
wow.
So keep an eye out for that. Honestly, I like it. They've got the agnolotti and roast sauce, vitello tonato, grissini, white truffles, barbera, and Barolo wine. It was also interesting to find out how some of these dishes made their way to Argentina from the north, brought by Italian immigrants, and also how in the northeast, where I'm from, USA, we ended up with a lot of food from immigrants from the south of Italy. So there was kind of like a crisscross of migration. Also, the north gets cold. Sure, there are palm trees, but winter in Torino is still cold. It is at the foot of the Alps, so that's what you get. It's actually where the name Piemonte comes from. It's the foot of the mountain. Italy is the kind of country you can explore for a lifetime and still not have uncovered everything. Lesson 2. Going slow is unavoidable. Italian bureaucracy takes this to a whole nother level. It took us 3 months to get internet. Internet has arrived.
Wow.
That's crazy.
The internet's here.
That's something that can happen
My permesso adesso
in
giorno.
an hour.
3 hours to get 3 hours. 3 months to get
Yeah.
internet.
That's something
crazy.
you call and you have it 2 seconds.
That's crazy.
I wonder how fast the internet speed is in Italy then.
So what do you do? Go to internet cafes?
Probably.
They still exist?
Which is basically a temporary residence permit. It validates your visa. I submitted it in September of 2024. They gave me an appointment in February of 2025. Well, I just got out. They take you in there and they get your fingerprints and all that. It was a close one because they told me to go to Alessandria, and it took me 6 months to get this appointment. So luckily, they let it go through. And now I gotta come pick my stuff up probably in another couple months. And it wasn't ready to pick up until April. I also took the CILS Cittadinanza B1 exam, the requirement for Italian citizenship through marriage. While I'm here.
In Lithuania, does it take you a long time to get internet?
No. Not like that. No.
It's really slow.
Maybe like a couple business days. Like a business day, maybe. Probably not the same day, but like next day or something like that.
Pretty nervous. It took 2 months to get the results back. I passed. So that's good. Hooray for that one. I also took the B2 exam. I took it in early April. We'll see how that goes. It is interesting that in Italy, still many things are done manually or with paper and in person and not online. To be fair, every country dealing with the government is always going to be a hassle. Even in the US, dealing with any kind of public services is not very fun. Going and sitting at the DMV, not a great time. Standing in line at the post office, not that great, but Italy kind of really leans into it. Lesson 3, Italians are incredibly welcoming. Italy is one of the top 5 most visited countries in the world. It's also been on the front lines of massive migration crisis through Europe. And at the same time, it welcomes tourists from all over the world in huge waves, especially through the summer months. Students from all over the world who want to study abroad there. I'll admit I'm not super well informed on contemporary Italian politics. I studied Italian history, but right now the government is right-leaning and harder on immigration. While we were there, Giorgia Meloni, the Italian Prime Minister, took away the right to apply for Italian citizenship through descent through your great-grandparents. And this is a big problem. It's complicated. So, of course, there's a mix of people, and obviously not everyone is extremely welcoming, but I've found in my experience, Italians to be very generous and very welcoming, very open and often curious about where you're from and what you're doing there. They love sharing their culture. They love sharing their food, their language, and their way of life. And they're very proud of it. They want to show you all the amazing things that Italy has to offer. Lesson 4, trains in Italy are great, mostly. Italy's train system is really fantastic. You can get all over the country fairly affordably and fairly quickly. They have some really good high-speed trains. They get you where you need to go, but they're just not always on time. And when it is delayed or canceled, it will show on the boards. You can see that it'll be 5 or 10 minutes late.
But it is interesting. We do see Italy highlight. This is not the first time we're hearing about Italian trains. It seems like in Europe might be the best train system here, because other countries, I'm not saying they're bad, but we don't get it like highlighted like we do here in Italy. This has got to be like third or fourth time. I feel like what other country we've seen that they highlighted the trains like that? They say public transit is good, yeah, blah blah, but this is like the fourth or third time that they're highlighting Italian trains, so must be like really good.
Doesn't always mean 5 or 10 minutes. The best thing to do is try not to buy train tickets within 25 minutes of each other if you have a connection, because the odds of you showing up late and missing your connection are pretty high. So build in a little bit more padding in between if you have to catch multiple trains. Don't expect to be somewhere at an exact time. Also, there are train strikes often, usually at least once a month. And they're usually 24-hour strikes, so you have to figure out other modes of transportation if you need to travel on that specific day. Those are always posted ahead of time online. Most stations have a bar. In Italy, a bar is usually a cafe, somewhere where you go to get coffee. They do serve alcohol as well, but it's not like a bar in the US, it's not a pub.
Very classic.
They're open early and often packed full of Italians, all getting cafe macchiatos or espresso. So you can just enjoy the break, get a panino or something like that, train station, whatever you need to do. I commuted an hour each way daily. I found them to be
The food is always presented really pretty.
Yeah.
But to me, I always wonder if it's like warm, tasty, like, because it always looks pretty.
Lesson 5. Italian is harder than I thought it was going to be. The Italian language is tough. I saw a joke the other day. There was a bunch of Spider-Man standing in a circle pointing at each other, and each one was a different version of the in Italian. I just thought that was funny. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with all the language stuff. The verb essere, to be, has 101 different conjugations when including all tenses and moods. English has 8 forms of the verb to be, so not cool Italian. Not cool. Accents vary across regions. They use passato remoto often in speaking in some parts of the South, which they don't use to speak in the North at all. This is usually reserved for books. One thing I loved about Torino is that when you speak in Italian to people, they respond to you in Italian. In Milan, for example, or other very touristy cities, you speak to them in Italian, they hear your accent, and they just speak to you in English right away. They're so used to dealing with people who don't speak Italian. In Torino, they give you a chance to speak. It's a very authentically Italian city.
I don't mind that. It's okay.
I wouldn't mind it either. I feel like if they clearly see that because you speak in Italian essentially to be polite to their culture, but because you don't know if they're speaking English, so you kind of show that courtesy to them, and they're like, "Oh, okay, I speak English. It's cool. We can communicate that way."
And communicate even better.
Yeah.
I think that's even kinder, because sometimes they won't even like they said, heard in France, they don't even regard you.
Yeah. I don't think that's problematic. I don't unless you're like really proud of learning Italian, and then you can maybe might get your feelings hurt a little because oh
No,
wow.
but that means you have to improve because they know you're not from here.
Very touristy, probably because it's kind of tucked up into the foot of the mountains, and it's not as easy to get there.
Some
If
people
you're
do get
interested
offended
in
with
seeing
that,
a little bit
though.
more about Torino,
With what?
Like if they talk to you in one language, they expect you to return in that same language, not to switch the language.
That means you need to learn that language better.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
I made a video here. I'll put a little tag there where I take you around for the day and show you what we did, and I talk about the free walking tours there. Living in Italy was one of the best things that I've ever done. It wasn't a vacation; it was real life. We applied for residency, learned the language, lived in a small Italian city, became locals in our own way, and all these things kind of make you fall in love with the place. If you're thinking of moving abroad, or if you've done something like this before,
But so what? They got back to the States because he said the way he's talking is that they kind of past tense. Living in Italy was one of the best things. So like right now they're not living in Italy anymore. I don't
Maybe
know.
it's just to get the citizenship
But
and then.
don't you need to live? Remember we did the deal? Don't you need to live for 4 years?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord, and as always, share as much kindness as possible.